What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to be talking about my top 3 long-term crypto investments. So I made a video like this a couple of years back actually, and since then each of those coins did at least 1,000% in growth. That was Ethereum, XMR, and Bitcoin. So I wanted to make a little bit of an updated list since we've got another cycle coming, and this cycle has shaken out all of the dumb money. So it's time to start doing a lot of long-term investing. And so this is my top 3 coins. Let's get right into this. Before we get started, let's talk about the total market cap, which has bounced off of the support level pretty nicely, as we mentioned in the yesterday's video, but we actually pushed a little bit higher since yesterday. Now, what I'm really watching is this horizontal resistance level where these two candlesticks rejected. So if we get above about 183 billion, I would suspect that we push up into this next resistance zone, this red box, and maybe even higher with the total market cap. But my primary outcome is still that we reject off this horizontal resistance and test into the box again before we have a chance of pushing any higher. It really all depends on whether Bitcoin can get above its horizontal resistance, which it's currently kissing right now, and we're talking about bodied candle resistance, not wicked resistance. So if it gets above that resistance, we could easily push up into that red box as well, which would carry the total market cap into that red box over here. There is a little bit of an ascending triangle pattern right here, but overall this is an A, B, C wave up, so this resistance is pretty strong here. I'm not really expecting it to break, but if it does, you guys, that's going to give it the momentum to push. So what coins are moving the most today in the 24-hour spectrum? That will be Binance Coin. So let's pull up this chart here with Binance Coin. You guys, I did mention Binance Coin as being a pretty good option in 2018 for the fact that exchange tokens are going to continue to get people to buy them even if the price of the market is declining because people need to use fees. And that has kind of proven to be true here. We did drop a little bit in the December area when everything capitulated, but as far as Binance goes as an investment, it's doing very nicely and already back up to major resistance. So with Binance Coin specifically, I suspect this major resistance up here to have somewhat of rejection here, and then we could easily keep going here. Now Binance Coin is outperforming Ethereum by far as an investment, and this trend is strong. It's starting to get a little bit parabolic, but you guys, this still looks like it could easily continue on its curve for a lot longer before Ethereum starts to dominate versus Binance Coin again. So if we pull up our curve tool right here and then take this and kind of straighten it out a little bit, so we get to see an accurate kind of representation of this arc, then this could easily keep kind of arcing in this general direction upwards. So yeah, generally speaking, Binance Coin is a little bit better of an investment than Ethereum right now. So let's talk about my top 3 long-term investments. Number 1 is probably pretty obvious to you guys, which is Bitcoin. Bitcoin has the most market capitalization, has the most volume, and really has done the best percentage over the most consistent period of time. So it's got that reputation behind it and that consistency that is really good for investment. Bitcoin is kind of like the S&P 500 of the crypto markets. And then if you drop onto the log chart, you can see pretty quickly here that we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure. So this was a very nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th wave is coming. Now by Elliott wave theory rules, 3 wave generally holds the most volume. And what do we see right here? A bunch of volume in the 3 and the 4 wave. So that is lining up with the Elliott wave theory rules. We also have the ABC correction that happened between about 2014 till 2015, and a WXYXZ correction that happened across 2018 in Bitcoin. When you're zoomed out here on the big picture, you can see that if the 5th wave happens up here, even if it's a really short 5th wave, that's still 50,000 per coin, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if we shoot up to that 100,000 per coin. And the million per coin is a little higher up here, you can see. So that's a little bit more drastic, but it's still not impossible, especially if this ends up being an extended fifth wave. It could go to that level. So you guys, Bitcoin in the big picture is a beautiful looking investment. So what's my number 2 long-term investment? Litecoin definitely has to take the number 2 spotlight for me, with volume that is exceeding the volume that it saw at the top of the entire hype cycle, and a 92% retrace from its peak. Also, this coin has been leading the whole run that we've seen recently. It was one of the first ones to break out, and it has a halving in exactly 109 days, which is sooner than the halving that is coming in Bitcoin. Now, what is a halving? A halving means that the reward for miners gets cut in half. So generally what happens is the price will double to compensate for the fact that the reward went in half. So that means that when Litecoin does its halving, if the price doubles, which its halving is at about in 109 days or August 6th of 2019, so before 2020, then the price could easily be up into this range here, significantly from where we're at. I don't know if we'd go all the way up to new all-time high, at least not the day of the halving, but after the halving happens, a new all-time high could easily be expected for Litecoin. I also really like in the big picture when you zoom out this nice falling wedge pattern with Litecoin, which is similar to another coin that we're going to be showing you here in a second. And just again, the overall volume and the fact that it's been leading the market. Litecoin was also one of the first to successfully implement Lightning Network. And last but not least, my number 3 top long-term investment is Manero, you guys. This also did a nice falling wedge pattern as well. And we see that just to the nearest peak would be about 584%. This one hasn't moved as much as the other coins did recently when they all kind of moved up here, but it does have increasing volume and increasing prices. One of the reasons that I really like Manero is because it allows you to have financial freedom in the sense that you own your money, and not only do you own it, but nobody has to know how much of it you have in this coin. It can completely be private, it's anonymous, so you're in charge of that. And from a political perspective, I really, that aligns with some of my personal beliefs about how the world should be and how you should have that capability and that right to be in charge of your own finances. And so Manero, from a long-term perspective, is amazing, and from a fundamental perspective is very nice. And I think that this one is painting the same kind of pattern that it saw back here. Let's just drop into the 3-day candlestick so you guys can see it a little bit easier. This right here was when Manero did a nice pump up, and then it did a nice pump back down. And this right here was a falling wedge pattern. Let me just get that. Okay. Falling wedge pattern that it made. And then it broke out actually to a new all-time high after that falling wedge pattern and saw continuous movement and growth on the upside. And if you look, it looks the same. You know, this pattern that it's painting right now, this pump all the way up and then this dump all the way back down with the falling wedge, is the same thing. It's just a lot bigger. So we could see that same type of growth happen with Manero a second time, where it does another growth period up to new all-time highs in the long term. And I really, like that aspect of Manero, is the fact that it fractals so nicely. Now, before all you heads get mad at me for not putting Aetherium on this list, you guys, Aetherium is still a great long-term investment, and it does about 747% up to its recent peak. So even if this thing just goes up to its previous high, then you get another 700% gain. So I'm not saying that Aetherium is a bad investment or that you shouldn't have it in your long-term portfolio. I just saw the other ones as bigger financial opportunities than Aetherium itself. Now, I do hold some ETH in my long-term, but I just don't want you guys to jump over into the comment section and be like, yeah, what are you doing hating on Ethereum? You guys, you ETH heads are crazy. You start to get very, very passionate about your coins. So that's why I had to bring it up. But I do like Ethereum. I just, again, Binance Coin is outperforming it. And I saw more potential with some of these other names. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it and got some valuable information today. I will see you guys in the next ones. And as always, stay profitable out there.